All right, here's a quick introduction to Generative Fill. First thing you need to do is download Adobe's Photoshop beta. So Generative Fill is still in the beta, and you need to download their beta version of Photoshop. Once you've done that, to start using Generative Fill, you want to select your lasso tool. Once you've selected the lasso tool, you'll get this little pop-up here. It will move around, so notice if I do a selection here, it stops and then it puts it over here, and if I put it over here, it sets it down there. So you can actually pin this into place, which I prefer to do because I find it kind of annoying how it keeps popping around. So if you click these three little dots here, you can pin bar position. All right, so that's going to stop moving around on me. I think what I need is I've got all this filled here, and I'm going to put a tractor in here. So let's create some space, and we'll put it right there. So I've got where I want the tractor, and in this Generative Fill box, I'm going to start typing. You might need to type multiple versions of the text that you want because, you know, it's still in beta and it's trying to understand what you're saying sometimes. And, you know, actually, that's not too bad for its first go at it. You notice you've got this here, 1, 3. You can, what it's going to do is it's going to bring up different versions. So let's go that one. This one I like, this third one. That's got a nice fade going on. It looks beat up. It kind of looks like it fits. If you don't like any of those, you've got this little icon here. You hit that again and it'll generate more variations. Notice over on the right here in your properties panel, you've also got the text field. And what it's going to do is if I go more variations, so let's hit that. So there's another row of variations that it added. Not too terribly different from the first ones, but I think I'm going to stick with that one that I liked. So I've got my cool old tractor. Let's add some more stuff. Since I've still got the lasso tool selected, I'm going to add a reflective pond here. Let's take a look and see how this looks. So I'm just going to make a circle and Generative Fill. Hey, not too bad, actually. You can see it's got a nice reflection of the tractor. You can see how it blended the edge in really nicely with the grass around it. And same thing, if you want to take a look and see at the other versions, you can. In my case, I'm pretty darn happy with that first one. So now we're getting more interesting stuff. And you can keep adding things if you want. So let's say, notice I've got this little cow back here. Maybe I want to give him a little cow friend. He's got a little cow friend now. Let's turn him around. There we go. That one looks like it fits. You can also, whoops, you can also grab it and move it around if you want. I do want it to be a bit closer because it is close to the camera. You can play around with blending as well. This one's not blended very well. And if you don't like it, well, give some feedback to Adobe and give it a little thumbs down. So that's Generative Fill there. Let's get rid of this cow. I don't like him. Another problem with this image is it's kind of bland up here in the sky. So let's add a couple clouds. Again, grabbing my lasso tool. And let's just make a nice big circle. Let's actually have it go off the page a little bit. Type in cloud. Not believable at all. A little better. A little better as well. I'm still not loving the cloud, but I think maybe if I move it up a little bit, there we go. And I can keep doing that. I can add some more clouds over here, or I can say multiple clouds, right? Ooh, that one's terrible. That one looks like it goes. Okay, I want to show you expanding the canvas because this is actually going to get exciting. So let's get rid of these clouds because what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use Adobe's sky replacement tool and give myself some nice skies. But before I do that, I want to expand this and turn this into a landscape. So I'm going to take the crop tool. I'm going to select, oops. I'm going to select my image, and now I'm just going to drag in off to each side. If you want, you can hit Alt on your keyboard and drag, and it'll drag both, or just not holding down the Alt, and you can do one side separately. Once I'm happy with how far I've got it extended, I'm going to double click on it, and then I'm going to go to my rectangular marquee tool, and I'm going to select it. Now I've selected it, but I want to reverse that because I want to expand it out. You've got this little icon right here, which is going to be your invert selection tool, or of course you can still do it the old-fashioned way with the select and inverse. So now I've got that selected, and I want a generative fill here. I don't need to give this any instructions at this point. I'm just going to hit generative fill and let it generate. I'm going to leave the instructions blank. Adobe's AI will magically expand this. Pretty darn good. You can kind of tell over here, so you could probably, let's go with the next one. That looks a little better. I like how it's not as full over on the left side with those, and let's try the third one. Pretty good as well. I'm going to go with the second one on this. I like that. I think it blends nicely. I still don't like my sky. So at this point, that's your tutorial on generative fill. But I'm going to show you a little bonus here if you want to stay tuned. If not, be sure to give me a thumbs up and all that crap. So I'm going to hit Control Alt on my keyboard. I have no idea how you would do this on a Mac. I'm going to go Merge Visible, and it's going to create a visible merge of all those layers below it. I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to go to Sky Replacement. Now it'll take a second because it's basically just grabbing whatever sky was on, and it's going to replace the sky here with that one. Now that's dramatic, right? I can fade the edges a little bit so that way it smooths a little bit on the edge. You can adjust the temperature if you want, because that looks a bit too blue for me. If you don't like that one, well, pick one of the other ones, maybe blue sky. You can also upload your own if you prefer. I've got a tutorial on using this tool entirely, so I'm not going to go into it here, but it gives you an idea on what you can kind of do nowadays and why we potentially no longer need photographers. So there you go. Have a nice day.